A Colombian judge sentenced Friday former President Alvaro Uribe to 12 years of house arrest for abuse of process and bribery of a public official in a long-running case over connections to former right-wing paramilitaries. In Brazil, popular movements across the country are manifesting to protest the latest U.S. tariff hike. U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff visited an aid distribution site in Gaza as deaths from the Israeli famine and ongoing attacks continue to mount in the Palestinian territory. Hello and welcome to From the South. I'm Alejandra Garcia from teleSUR Studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. A Colombian judge sentenced Friday former President Alvaro Uribe to 12 years of house arrest for abuse of process and bribery of a public official in a long-running case over connections to former right-wing paramilitaries. The judge's ruling also includes a fine equivalent to 2,420 minimum monthly salaries and a ban to hold a public office for 100 months and 20 days. With this sentence, Uribe becomes the first Colombian ex-president to ever be found guilty at trial. The ruling comes less than a year away from the country's 2026 presidential election, in which several of Uribe's allies and proteges are competing for top office. Uribe's legal team informed he will appeal the sentence. The appeal hearing is scheduled for August 4th.
In second place, condemning Alvaro Uribe Pérez with 144 months of prison and with its equivalent amount with sanctions, main sanctions, from 1 to 20 days.
In Brazil, on Friday, popular movements across the country are protesting the latest U.S. tariffs hike. The mobilizations take place at consulates and city centers in Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro and Brasilia, among others. The initiative, titled Who Runs Brazil is the Brazilian People, is organized by the National Students' Union together with coalitions of social movements, labor unions and activist organizations. The imposed levies will increase the cost of Brazilian exports to the United States by 50%, mainly affecting agribusiness and technology. The measure has been condemned as an attempt to pressure the country's judiciary system amid the trial that demands accountability for former President Jair Bolsonaro over a coup attempt following his 2022 election defeat. And now we have a short break coming up. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back to From the South. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff visited an aid distribution site in Gaza as deaths from the Israeli famine continue to mount in the Palestinian territory. The delegation, which also included U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee, visited a Gaza Humanitarian Foundation site on Friday. The controversial organization, promoted by the United States and Israel, is denounced for being a death trap for the Palestinians as Zionist soldiers daily murder people who come in search for food. In this regard, during the day, an Israeli attack on a crowd seeking help left 7 people killed and more than 70 wounded in Khan Yunis. U.S. officials are to brief President Donald Trump on their visit amid growing international criticisms of Israel for genocide in Gaza. In Palestine, the Journalists' Union denounces the murder of 232 media professionals by the Israeli occupation forces as part of the genocide perpetrated against the Palestinian people. The Union of Palestinian Journalists regretted the death of photojournalist Ibrahim Mahmoud Hajjaj, killed this Wednesday in an Israeli bombardment against the city of Gaza while he was documenting the crimes of the occupation of the Zionist regime. This crime is part of a systematic policy aimed at silencing the press in Gaza and intimidating counter-hegemonic media professionals. The union also denounced that these actions violate the right to information and freedom of the press, urging international organizations to act to stop the violence against Palestinian journalists. In Lebanon, the Israeli occupation forces committed a new violation of the ceasefire agreement in the territory, attacking several areas from the south to the Bekaa Valley in the east. According to local media, Israeli airplanes attacked several towns of the southern region, also striking the Wassani area using flares. Likewise, the occupation forces attacked 4-hour villages on the outskirts of the cities of Nabishit, Massa and Brital. The Israeli regime continues to relentlessly violate the ceasefire agreement in Lebanon since November 2024, carrying out attacks with combat aircraft, drones and ground incursions almost daily. On Friday, China's foreign ministry spokesperson Wang Yaqun called the United States the main cyber threat to the country. Yaqun indicated that a report by the country's Cyberspace Security Association reveals how Washington used Germany, South Korea and other nations as a point of access to launch cyber attacks on the territory. The spokesman also notes that in 2024, more than 600 attacks were executed by foreign state cyber spion organizations against critical infrastructure and strategic information systems in an attempt to slow the technology race between the Asian giant and the US. The president of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, presented the National Journalism Award Simón Bolívar 2025 to Iranian journalist Tahar Emami, Survival of Israeli Bombings. The journalist belongs to the Uribe, the Iranian radio and television organization, and is a survivor of a bombing against the civilians carried out by the Israeli Air Force. The Iranian communicator received the award this Thursday, thanking the Venezuelan president for his unconditional support and solidarity giving in these difficult times to the people and government of the Islamic Republic of Iran. People from 15 to 35 years old went out to vote for their first youth public consultation to choose the projects to be developed in the communes and communal circuits throughout the country. Let's see the following report by our colleague Bruno Falsi.
La Comuna Victoria Socialista está ubicada
in the Socialist Victory commune in the Venezuelan capital. Young people chose a dental clinic as a project to build in their community.
For us, it is very important that this project was one of the most voted. We know that by the private method these prostheses are very expensive. On the other hand, we will give a helping hand, which with a minimum contribution, a contribution that simply helps us and motivates us, they will be able to leave with their teeth with that super pleasant smile. We have a motto, one more smile is a sovereign and happy smile.
As
we go deeper into the territory, we pass by some of its 10 communal councils. Thus, we arrive at the School of Arts and Crafts, another of the projects approved in this commune, in the first popular consultation of the youth. The second thing has to do with the development of arts and crafts in the neighborhood, is that it allows to keep away leisure, drugs, all those things that are not proper for youth in a society that deserves to be different. And for that reason we have created a creative, multidisciplinary school of arts and crafts, where there will also be recreational areas so that young people and children can play games, gamer-type games, that kind of thing, and formative areas. 10,394 projects were approved nationwide and will be invested by the state. Barbara, a student, talks about how they will help in the socio-economic development of young people in her community.
This is a nucleus of endogenous development for young people, in which we can participate in different ways. In the cultural area, in the health area, or in the socio-productive area, which is the area that I will be working in. In the socio-productive area we will be more than 17 young people participating for the development of areas such as pastry making, subliminal, and an area that is gastronomic type of fast food. In these areas we will be developing things to generate income for us, as well as for the development of our community.
Assim, a juventude sigue organizando e haciendo sus
So the
assembleias.
young people continue to organize and hold their assemblies, now to carry out the projects approved in the consultation and dreaming of the next projects for future popular votes.
De la Câmara de Gustavo Flores, Bruno Falsi, Caracas, Venezuela, para teleSUR.
And like this, we have come to the end of this brief, but you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net and join us on social media. We are on Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok as well. For TeleSUR English, I'm Alejandra Garcia. Thank you for watching.